was the clamp onto the drum head is made for I gotta find the
metal rim.
Yeah, I don't know if it would work with the wood rim.
Well, they have to have a hoop. They have to have a wood hoop version.
And so yeah, I need to ask some. Maybe I'll just actually email their support.
That'd be good.
Email that support.
This guy about it, and then also it does say that you can use it to trigger like MIDI things, like a patch change on your keyboard. So it definitely should be able to theoretically control main stage.
Technically, the Diddy can do that too. We've never really gone down that road, but you can. Well, actually, we did briefly, Brendan, when we had the very first way that we did the trees. Remember, we actually programmed a sequence of those. It has that like woodblock pattern in the middle of the song, and we actually programmed it. We did that with Will Tully on drums, and he would hit one drum, and it would play through the sequence. It would go like dugga 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 dugga, but it was all on one drum.
Oh, cool.
The only problem with that was that we found that there was no way to restart the sequence. Like once it was going, it was going. So if at some point in the song he accidentally hit that drum, then when we got to that point in the song, it was completely wrong. There was no way to fix it. It was just like, it was a done deal.
Yeah.
So we eventually stopped doing that because it was too risky.
All the trees fell down.
Yeah, it's like get 4 minutes into a song to find out it's completely ruined.
The answer clearly is to have a 2-octave 12-note wood block tree that we bring on tour. Clearly, that's the solution.
Brendan was just telling me how he wanted to make the drum kit smaller.
So it could fit.
We got to make this kit smaller. So we'll start with buying the woodblock tree, and then we'll reduce from there. The woodblock tree is the centerpiece.
You know, Randy, you look like a star from a 70s movie today. Like, do you remember the movie Meatballs?
Looks like Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, yeah. Like maybe you work at a summer camp in the 70s?
Yeah.
Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of.
I was thinking Friday the 13th, but
that works too.
I don't know, because is it reversed? Can you see it? It says Miranda Lambert.
Nice.
Yeah, we see it.
I like to call her Mirambert.
Mirambert.
Oh, here's Joey. There we go.
Jonesy? Have you sorted the porcelain chips from the nickels and dimes yet?
Joey's struggling to unmute. I'm trying to help.
Loving her long hair.
Hang on. Is this going to help? There it is.
Hi.
Hi, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told these guys before you joined, Joey, that about our porcelain duck.
Oh, my duck.
Yeah.
It died.
Oh, it's
Dunzo.
I remember
Smithereens.
that duck. I remember.
Yeah.
Smithereens.
Yeah.
Smithereens.
Smithers.
Hold on. So I recently broke some porcelain as well, but 3 pieces, so I could still glue it together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's like many more pieces than this.
This was like, again, imagine like a large fan falling blade first from the heavens onto a duck. It's like from an action movie.
Oh.
It's raining fans.
Yeah. It's like the alternate ending to Con Air. It's very intense.
Like a K-pop concert.
Oh, wait,
the duck didn't stand a chance.
It's sort of like the movie Sully. What's the movie it was called?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like when the plane
lands on the water.
Yeah.
The ducks, yeah.
I've been meaning to watch that.
Yeah, and you're right near the East River. So.
But instead of, because in like Sully, it's like the ducks flew into the plane, but in this case, it was like the plane hunted down the ducks. It was an act of aggression on the plane's part.
Duck hunt.
Yeah. It was like in the cartoons when a grand piano falls on Daffy Duck's head.
Oh no.
Yes, exactly.
And it makes this. I was always impressed at how they were very good at either recreating or maybe even capturing the sound of a piano landing on concrete. Like, those cartoons have that sound, and nobody else had. And that sound, like when Tom gets like his head smashed, like it's like bang, like this just impossibly huge smash.
Well, that's kind of what it was like, because it was the sound of the fan hitting the duck, the sound of the duck shattering, and the sound of a blade hitting just 1,000 coins.
You know, if it's true that, do you have Siri?
I don't use it.
But is it sitting there in your house plugged in?
Do you mean Alexa?
Alexa, that's right.
Oh, no, we don't have an Alexa.
Damn shame, because if there was a recording going of some kind where you captured that sound, it would make a hell of a snare drum.
Oh wow. Yes.
Add that to the long list of missed opportunities.
Actually, come over. We have to lay in this new duck smash change.
Yeah, we got to reamp the duck crash.
It's a tone duck.
Yeah, this is my tone duck.
Oh, that's what I was asking. Is the fan made of metal?
No, it's made of. Actually, we said right away, like, it was a testament to the fan. It's one of those, like, it's the Vornado fan that we bought at Costco a couple years ago. And again, not being paid to say this, you guys, quality fan. Just destroyed a duck and didn't even slow down.
Oh wow.
So.
I not really related, but sort of.
I'm sorry. Just really quick, in the comment, Bronwyn pointed out that us saying Alexa is making her Alexa go crazy. So be aware, if you say Alexa. I did this. Brandy, don't you have one too?
I do.
In one of these Zooms, I managed to successfully add ice cream to Brandy's shopping list.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, Sturbins. Go ahead.
That's okay. Years ago, I was going to a gig. I brought some gear down to the car and then went into the car to warm up my voice. But we had an order to the pack. So the guitar always went on top. So I didn't put the guitar in the Jeep Cherokee. So I set it down, and I didn't realize that I kind of set it down basically right behind the tire. And so I warmed up my voice, and then 20 minutes later, my the guy I worked with at the time, he came into the car, and I just started backing up, and I ran over a Martin acoustic guitar that was in one of those SKB flight cases. And the car goes go, go, and I was like, what's that? And then I was like on the way to a gig. But it turns out I just put a nick in the headstock, but we successfully did the gig and the guitar was not destroyed. And
testament to that case.
Yeah.
So maybe you should get an SKB flight case for the duck.
Yeah, our next duck we're gonna put in a hard case. To be fair, we were really mostly using the duck as a doorstop, so we were mistreating the duck, I think, in retrospect.
Yeah.
You were really tempting fate.
Yeah, that's partially on us at this point.
Yeah.
Alexa,
yes.
Can you order me a Wheatus duck fan, please?
We are actually getting people in the comments. Multiple Alexas are going crazy, so we should be careful. There's a lot of power in this in this world. Okay,
what a troll's angle.
I know. All right, well, we should start the task at hand, which is for Joey to take this challenge.
How many questions are we all going to be allowed to ask?
So there are 10. It's 10 sauces, so I guess 10-ish in total. It's sort of flexible there. We have a few people in the Zoom right now who have their videos off. Hello, sorry, I pulled you out very quickly just to not interrupt the current state of things. But in the Zoom chat, if you have a question you'd like to come forward for, feel free. People who are watching on YouTube, we actually have more people on YouTube today than in Zoom. If you have a question there, you can post it, and I will ask on your behalf. And we can start. Does anybody want to go first?
I do.
Sturbins does. All right, Joey. So you are all set, Sturbins. And before Sturbins asks the question, Joey, I guess you can introduce sauce number 1 for people who don't remember from the first time we did this.
Sauce number 1 is the classic hot sauce. It says it's heat with heart. Okay. It also says just the right spice.
Oh.
So we will see about that.
I have to say as well, there's a part of my motivation, like, to do this today with Joey is for me as well, because I have been saving these hot sauces for possible Hot Ones rounds, and I'm, like, dying to just eat them in my regular life. So now if Joey does it, we can do this and not. Joey has not tried any of these.
What sauces do you eat in your regular life?
Well, we pick from one of the other 20 we have in our refrigerator. All right, Joey. So
okay, so now I have to eat the thing, and then Stubbs will ask me a question.
Matthew, you got to point to me when it's time to ask.
Yeah. Well, I think like basically as the question is being asked, you can eat your nugget and then go ahead. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, Jonesy, you are a trained astronaut. You're about to go for a voyage. You're going to be gone for years. You want one special meal before you go into space for years. What is that perfect meal?
Chip butty.
That was not.
That was shocking for me as well. That was shocking.
He's at it.
I was not the answer I was expecting.
That is great.
He's at Butty.
He's at me butty.
That's your dream meal? I feel like I've seen you eat that twice in all the time I've.
Well, because we don't have it that much. We don't have a chip shop.
Okay, where can you give me more details about the chip butty? Where was it acquired? What type of chips? Anything? The bread?
I don't know. I would have to do some research, I think, of chip shops just to make sure I'm eating the finest chips. Because there are different levels of quality to chip shop chips. Must be big, chunky, fat chips, not overcooked, not undercooked. Not too fussy about the type of bread, but it must be white bread, and like with an earth balance or some kind of buttery spread on it, with salt and vinegar. It must be malt vinegar. Yeah. Do I get pudding?
Ooh,
get a whole
good
meal,
question.
whatever you want.
Oh, okay. Then apple and rhubarb crumble for pudding.
Yum.
I appreciate that, Sturbans, you did the astronaut route here and not the death row last meal, because it's the other standard question. It's a much more positive spin on it.
That was a conscious choice, Matthew.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good.
Space can kill you too.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's like all kinds of things.
Honestly, if I am going to space alone, space will kill me, because I don't know anything about living in space. So I'm going to enjoy my chip butty and then go into space and die.
Joey, I think that I know your opinion on this, but you should at least reflect on it, because in the chat right now there's a raging debate on does a chip butty need to have butter on it as well or not.
I think it probably does, because the heat from the chips melts the butter, and the butter is really a medium between the chips and the bread. It's the technology that allows them to communicate with each other.
It's the glue of the universe.
Lee West just described it as sandwich lube.
That's fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was thinking along the lines of substrate and elixirs. But
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
All right, there you have it. Thank you, Sturbans.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
You have something, Brendan?
I do.
Bring it on.
I have a follow-up question.
Great, I love it. Perfect.
Oh,
Here we
do
go.
I have to move on to source number 2?
I would, yeah. We got a lot to do here.
Okay. That's 4.
I tried to put them in a staggered.
Oh, I see.
Should be right behind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little bit rubbed off. Okay. This one is hot and saucy.
Ooh.
garlic and pepperoncini hot sauce. It also says mild.
What does pepperoncini mean?
It's like a
What are we talking
pepperoni.
about?
It's like those. I think they're actually talking about those little peppers, right? The the sweet,
So
like peppadews.
Oh.
Like a peppadew.
I like that word.
It doesn't have pepperoni in it, Joey.
Oh,
no,
right.
no.
I checked. I checked.
Pepperoni
It's like a sweet but spicy pepper. I think.
It was also handmade in Harlem.
Harlem.
That was
Wow.
local.
Local.
Oh, wow, nice.
Like that.
That's
Okay.
fab.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
so-
Glenn just points out pepperoncini are the green peppers you often find in antipasto salad.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I really led everybody astray.
No, it's fine.
What is that?
An easy mistake to make. Okay, so Brendan, you're up.
Okay, so this was sort of philosophically inspired by the death row versus astronaut, right?
Great.
Because ostensibly we're talking about two extremes of freedoms that society will bestow on you. In one case, an utter lack of. In the other case, to the moon, right? So on that tip, Joey, are you doing this challenge of your own free will, or do you feel obligated to follow in Matt's footsteps and provide content?
I don't feel obligated to put myself in a state of pain to create content. I have plenty of content ready and lined up on my phone, just from hanging around with you clowns. So it's okay. There is a part of me that loves a challenge. So I do feel a little bit obligated to partake in the challenge. Knowing that Matthew got all the way through this does really make me need to get all the way through it. Also, Natalie Portman finished this challenge, and she is this big. So if she can do it, then I can do it. But really, I guess the most important part of your question is, do any of us really have free will?
Thank you, Joe. See,
There it is. We got there.
I knew this was. Thank you.
I mean, if we're going on the basis of a deterministic universe, then maybe we don't have free will. So maybe I'm not doing this of my own free will.
Oh my God.
If we are more governed by maybe the quantum world than we realize, then maybe I do have free will, and maybe I did choose to do it, but I don't know.
This is like, consciousness questions 101, right? Is the human mind this odd collection of particles that manifests the ability to collapse probability into a singular activity, right? So like, the quantum field is bubbling until a human comes around and decides they want to compete with their husband on the internet and eat hot sauce, right? So this is like, there's parts of it that I'm seeing that are sort of like deterministic, and you think it's an adventure, and you're also, you feel like you're a challenge, like, let's go, I'm gonna do that too, haha, right? Sort of, a little bit. And also, you're all along for the ride in the sense that you're not necessarily choosing. This is just like the universe has like brought you here for some chaotic entropic reason, and that's it.
This is sauce number 2.
I know.
I know. We're gonna get way more introspective before it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. This conversation reminds me of a show I would recommend, which is, if people haven't seen it, the show Devs on Hulu. Gets into all of this very well, and it's really good. It's by the guy who, I can't remember his name, Alex Garland, I think is his name, who wrote and directed the movie Ex Machina.
Oh, yes.
And he made a little mini-series on Hulu that is really good. On this exact subject.
I've seen bunches of trailers for that, and it always looks fascinating, but
yeah,
I am super reluctant to get into any series because you know how things are over here, Matthew.
It is a mini series, so it's just one. I think it's 10 or 9 episodes, and then it's over. You're not going to be locked in for the rest of your life.
That's the thing, right?
Is it as good as WandaVision?
No, we have not done WandaVision yet, and I know that's a similar thing. It's definitely easier to do the miniseries route. I'm sorry, Brandy, you were going to say something. No, that's fine.
I probably was.
Probably was. Don't worry about it. All right, yeah. That's good. We're gonna move on, Joey. We have a question in the YouTube chat from Hannah, so I'm going to. Side note: people in the YouTube chat also now discussing that Devs was confusing enough. People aren't even sure what it was about, but I think it was about that.
Yes, Glenn. WandaVision was awesome.
Okay, Joey, so you're up to number 3. You want to intro that?
Okay, yes. Source number 3 is Monks?
I think it's Mark's.
Mark's
Yeah.
Condiments. Barbados-style hot sauce. This looks yummy.
I hope so, because that's the one I put a little too much on.
Oh, it was made in Canada.
Ah, there you go.
Okay. So here's what it looks like.
See, that's the kind of color that I like. Hot sauce that's that color.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big deep red guy, and I'm not a big green. I like a yellow or an orange. That's my habanero zone. You know.
I like the mango salsa from enchiladas.
Oh, that was our Mexican spot from back in the day.
Enchiladas, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we go back to Northport for like a nostalgia rehearsal?
Yeah, we'll have a field trip, and we can have enchiladas, and we can go to the sweet shop, and hang out at the docks.
The petting zoo, the little farm.
The petting zoo.
Maybe we can pass by St. James after that.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, does everybody know what the story is with the petting zoo? Did we tell that on this already?
I think we've told it in some places. I'm not sure if we've given the full story. Were you there? The first time that happened was before your time, I think, Joey.
The first time?
Yeah.
Because that's when Kevin
I have footage
and
of
Gerard
that.
were in the band, I think.
Yeah, Kevin and Gerard. I think that's when we were making like the Jupiter EP.
Yeah. But I have been to the petting zoo.
Do you want me to tell that story quick, Brendan?
Sure.
Or do you want to tell it?
No, I love that story. It's your story.
Basically, the very short version is we were like working in the studio. This is the Jupiter EP. We were doing like 12-hour days, and it was very, very intense work. And all of us have been in the band and around Northport every day for years. And out of nowhere, one day, we're working, and Brendan goes, "Do you guys want to walk to the petting zoo?" And we're like, "The petting zoo?" Like, you have to understand, like, the studio in Northport was, like, next to 2 main roads. Like, it really felt like we had seen everything that there was. It was like, we knew, like, here's the pizza place, here's the Mexican place, there's a CVS, there's a Starbucks. Like, we knew all of that stuff. And the idea that there was a petting zoo within walking... And then Brendan, like, just walked us down the street, and it was, like, literally, like, leave the house, make a left and a right, and there's a zoo. It was the most shocking. I thought it was a joke until we walked up to the door or the gate, and then there was just like it was a real zoo. It was still one of the most surprising things. We wound up going back like maybe once or twice after that, but yeah, that was a weird one. Anyway, okay, we're moving on. Hannah, no, Hannah doesn't think her question is very good, but I think it is very good, so we're gonna ask it, Hannah. Don't worry. Here we go. All right. Hannah is asking, Joey, name one thing that you love and one thing that you hate about being on the road.
Okay.
And she's saying not the obvious, like, you know, you don't need to say, like, aside from, like, people, music, like, you know, other things.
That's a great question.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, this one's got a bit of a kick to it. That's good.
Is that a habanero sauce, Jonesy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mango, papaya, pineapple. Wait, does this have chilies in it? Yes, it does.
Yeah, it has
It
to.
says fresh, hot, and sweet peppers.
Oh, there
That's
you
all
go.
it says.
Wow. So that's like that's a full spectrum.
That's a
Tropical
That's good.
explosion.
Brendan, you will like this one.
Mm.
Okay. Something that I love. I love going to I love finding new restaurants to go to. And I usually will look up in advance. Like I'll make a list of any food places that I want to go, and I have a list written down or on my phone or something. And I love going to a new restaurant and exploring a new thing. And that's actually a little bit kind of a problem because it always kind of makes me feel like I'm on holiday when I go to a new place. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. I can just spend all my money on food because I'm on holiday. But actually, I'm not on holiday. I'm working and I'm supposed to be earning money and not spending it all on all the food I can find. So I love that. What do I hate? I don't know. I do. Quiet, please.
Sorry.
You know what? I do hate the.
Oh, did you see what Lee said? Middlesbrough.
Don't hate Middlesbrough.
We like Middlesbrough, Lee.
I know you always hate like having if the bus is pulling out. It's always a bummer for you because you have to go lay down.
Oh.
Yeah, I get. Oh, I've talked about this before. I do get very travel sick, and a big one is if the bus is moving like forward and back, like if we're coming out of a parking space or something like that. So we can all just be hanging out in the lounge after a show, and I'm just like casually waiting for my turn to use the toaster, and then the bus engine will turn on and I just have to run upstairs. I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
So that always sends me into a bit of a panic because I'm like, oh no, the bus is going to move. I have to go lie down. So I kind of hate that. And sometimes the bus is scary at night when we're driving at nighttime. I don't get this quite so much anymore, but I never used to be able to sleep on the bus because I was always afraid that it was going to fall over, because it felt like I was up so high on the top floor and going around a turn. If you're lying down and then the bus goes around a corner, you kind of like move like this, and it would be really scary. And every time we went around a corner, I would be like clinging onto the side of my bunk, just so terrified that the bus was going to topple over.
Joey is, if I could interject for a moment, illustrating like one of the most profoundly crazy things about tour is that the bus driver is, people say bus driver is the most important member of the band and all that stuff. That's not bullshit in any sense. That is like profound, because I can't tell you how many times I have with Paul at the wheel or Colin at the wheel, one of like our better bus drivers that we've had through the years, a guy named Tony from way back in the day.
Chris Butler
was amazing. You just have this moment of like, there's nothing to worry about here. Like, and you can actually fall asleep. Or you're thinking along the lines of Joey, because the bus driver is hauling ass through some like little motorway and the bus is doing this, and you can really feel it when he hits the edge strip, the like vibration strip on the edge of the road and all that stuff. Like, if enough of that's going on, you know the guy's not the greatest driver, and your tour is very different, you know. So
it's actually a testament to how important the bus driver is that we just immediately rattled off the names of our favorites very quickly. Like, you know, I think it's not a
that was like 15 years deep. That was 20 years deep worth of favorite bus drivers. You never forget them. You never forget,
because we know them well, because they've taken, and we're very lucky, especially in the last couple of years, because we've had Paul, who has done most of the driving for us, and even when he's not, Paul employs really, really good drivers. Another shout out to our friend Will McGugan.
Yep.
Another very, very good driver.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. McGugan.
Yeah.
He's the one that was on my first tour, right? With that academic team.
Yes. Will McGugan is from Glasgow, and Brandy had a very hard time.
Him and Paul, I mean, him and Mike Doyle and Tom being from Liverpool.
Between the Scouse and Glaswegian, it was like
those two.
whew.
Holy shit!
I had it was a fun time with Tom because he would ask me like if I wanted to go smoke a cigarette, be like, and I didn't know what he said, so I just like, yeah, like, okay, come on. Like,
yeah, you don't know anything about trolling until you watch
the number of times that I saw Brandy on that tour, like do the like someone would say something to him and he would just like smile and like he had no idea, no idea what was being said. It was so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is true that the bus drivers are having a good relationship with the driver is really important to us, and it has gotten better in the last few years because Joey's right. Like you do have those moments in the night where suddenly you wake up because of a quick turn, and suddenly it's just that like the wake up with that feeling is like, is the next thing I'm about to feel the whole thing tumbling over.
Because the center of gravity is so high.
Yeah, it's weird. People are pointing out you even feel it like if you get on a double-decker passenger bus just sitting in a seat, you can feel it the same way. You're being up that high, the turns you feel a lot. So imagine that, but then being asleep and waking up to that feeling. It's quite an experience.
The thing is, you want to be asleep during a crash because if you're not reactive, this is the case in drunk driving accidents. Often the driver survives and everybody else dies because the driver is drunk and is not like reacting to. It's just like floppy. You know, there have been cases of like people in tornadoes, for instance, if they get knocked unconscious and then swept up into a tornado, there's a good chance of survival because they're not trying to land correctly or resist or any of that stuff. They just get flung like a rag doll. So that's how you want to be. You want to be asleep, you know. And if you do wake up in the middle of a crash, just go limp.
Just enjoy it.
Just go with it.
It's just a fun ride.
Just roll with it.
Oh boy. Well, that was a fun end to that question. All right. On that note, I'm going to bring in our friend Gerben, who's in the Zoom chat, and he has a question. So, Gerben, here you come.
Oh, and I
make way for Gerben.
4.
Yep, number 4. Get number 4 ready to go.
Number 4 is the Devil's Blend Hellfire hot sauce.
Hey, oh, Sarah's there too. Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Twist.
Hello.
No, it's Gerben Sarah.
Oh, Gerben Sarah, not Sarah Twist, Matthew. You're
Oh, sorry. No, Gerben and Sarah.
Yeah, Dutch Sarah. Hi, Dutch.
My apologies.
Hi.
All right. Yeah, you ready, Joey? So go ahead, ask away.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, True came out, and you wrote that. So I was really wondering how it was to write that, and did you write both lyrics and music? And how does it feel to have a song brought out that you wrote?
Oh, Jerry's taking a moment.
That was a really crispy one. So that's a good source. Yeah. So I did write. Technically, I wrote the lyrics and the melody and the music, but I demoed the whole track instrumentally and then brought it to Brendan, and we kind of worked on it together. We rearranged a few things to come up with the final version. And the actual final version, the way it came out, was also quite heavily influenced by all the people who played on it, because I love everyone in this band and everyone is so good at their instrument that I really wanted everyone to be able to contribute something to it. Like if they wanted to, if they felt like they had a cool moment that they wanted to put into it, I wanted them to feel welcome and empowered to do that. So Brendan definitely did that with the guitar part, because my original guitar part was just very much like power chords and just like super basic. And Brendan gave it more of an interesting kind of spin, you also gave it a little bit of like a Strokes kind of vibe in some places. I remember thinking that when you played for me your guitar part, Brendan. It's very more like arpeggiated in some places, and I had not envisioned that for the song at all, but it turned out really cool.
Yeah, it's funny. We I think if I recall, the middle of the song was maybe twice as long as it currently is, and we cut the bridge, and we cut and merged the bridge with, maybe you came up with we turned like another theme into a prolonged section. I'm trying to remember, because it was you and me standing in front of the speakers in the sort of in the living room here, just like pressing stop, and then okay, well, what if right there where we press stop it did this from the earlier thing? So we just like made some careful incisions and then pasted them together in different spots. And also I played your chords differently in just the formation of the chords. Like certain chords turned into full on like triad power chords that had what's the note, Brandy? There's a root note, and then there's I think the third or the fifth, and then if there's another one, is it a ninth? No, not a ninth. What is it? What am I thinking of?
Beginning
7.
Here, let me show you.
Oh, maybe a major 7th?
Say maybe he's playing 7s, yeah.
So,
as that Michelle.
In particular, in verse 2, I was doing stuff like this. So,
oh, that's Alberti bass.
Yeah, so that was like kind of like this. The way Joey's chord was originally, I think, like, which became, so these 3 notes, and all of this was cut out.
Yeah.
And that freed up space in the recording for the keyboard to be super loud, which it is, which I'm really happy about. So it's like we traded some guitar space for some keys space.
Yeah, the keyboard sound really kind of took on a different life, because my original keyboard sound that I had was very like synth, like Lemonade-y. Like I wanted it to be like a Lemonade kind of solo, and the keyboard solo originally was like like very fast and all over the place. And once the song had developed its own course and its own kind of line of its own journey, then that keyboard sound wasn't appropriate anymore, and we came up with a different keyboard sound for it.
Yeah.
So
and we worked on the keyboard sound for a while, right, Brandy? Like we stacked up a couple of Mellotrons. It was like we started with what we referred to as the mosquito, which is the solo sound from Lemonade is the mosquito, really. That's what it sounds like, flying through the mix like this little mosquito. And when we were done layering underneath it, it was like more like a dragonfly or a bat or something, you know. It's like had big floppy wings all of a sudden, and it was so much cooler than just like more guitar notes, you know. So
I thoroughly enjoy that keyboard work on the song, like from a purely third person perspective, because I feel like I had like no idea what to do, and was just like throwing fingers down in random places, and y'all were like, yeah, that there, okay, all right, then do that, and then do that and that. So it's like I listened to it, and it's not like, oh, I think I did something really good there. It's like they did a really good job on this keyboard part.
yeah, but it was still informed by what you were doing, because obviously, like, but Brendan and I could probably not play a keyboard between the two of us. So Brandy just has the insight and the experience to know, like, okay, well, the track is moving in this direction, and he would just play something, and Brendan and I were like, yeah, that's what we want. So,
yeah. So, well, to that point, Joey, when Brandon is in the studio, you know, he's like a real keyboard player, right? You know, he knows he knows where everything is, and I watch him, and I think I know where the harmony is, and I'll like try and play it over the other side of the keyboard. No, this note right here on this chord, I fucking get it wrong,
Joey made that little video about the making of Through, and about half the video is you just hitting random notes on the keyboard.
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. I'm terrible, terrible.
Although to your credit, you are doing it from, usually when you touch the keyboard, it is from the opposite side.
Upside down.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
But yeah, overall, it was a really cool and positive experience. And I think everyone did a really cool job on their own part. I love like some of the bass things that Matthew threw in. Madden had some really great ideas for drum fills and stuff. Like originally my demo was just based on loops. Like in GarageBand, I would just like drag a loop. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool. But, only a drummer who knows how to compose a drum part can come up with fills and stuff like that, and just like small changes in the part. That she did such a cool job.
Yeah, like in verse 2, right? Like
yeah.
There's all sorts of tasty little accents in verse 2 that
there was that one moment in verse 2 where Madden and Matthew were in the live room and Brendan and I were in the control room just listening to every take that they did. And Madden threw in that you can actually hear it on the track in the middle of verse 2. It's like, like in the side. And Brendan and I both were like, oh! It was good because like those things can only sometimes come up in the moment. And sometimes or at least for me, obviously everyone is different with the way they write a song, but sometimes I find that I would never have written that. It had to just come up in that moment, like, oh, I'm going to throw in this thing. And the only way it could have happened was spontaneously. So I think a lot of what happened in the final recording is based on things that came up spontaneously, including the amazing performance that we have from Cosmo in the intro to verse 2.
Shout out to Cosmo, who had to get in there on that recording.
I didn't even have to move that. He barked perfectly in time and in pitch, and it was just like, leave it, don't touch it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was just to add one final thing to it. I feel like Joey wrote this song and arranged it in a way where it was designed to be kind of like a celebration of the band and the people in the band. And there was space made for all of these things, where I remember very clearly, Joey, you were like, I want a keyboard solo in the middle of it. There was a bass solo there, or more of an interlude. More of an interlude, really. And and then like a prominent backing vocal part where like the backing vocals take the lead for a moment, and it was sort of like hitting all of these little boxes. And again, like a tasty sort of drum part, Brendan doing his like additionally textured guitar playing that is very much his sort of style. And it really felt like that as we were making it. Like this was an opportunity just to kind of like, it's almost like the best of Wheatus within a song. It was like trying to get every one of these little boxes ticked and put it all into this one track that really hits all these marks. And in that sense, it was really fun to do, and really like, it was, I think it comes across in this sort of celebratory way that definitely was felt in the making of the song as well.
Yeah, when Joey first told me about it, she kind of framed it as this is like a Wheatus tribute song in some sense, like designed in the style of almost like a Liam Lynch experiment, Matthew.
Or Weird Al.
Yeah, or Weird Al, but not parody. In fact, like informed by the Wheatus library of like things we've done in songs through the decades, and it's now one of my favorite tracks in the archive, and I don't ever want to play a show without playing it live. So, but we got to start rehearsing. What are we doing here on this? Let's go.
Yeah, we gotta learn that song. Also, just one random note for the music people in the who are watching this. Through is the only song in the Wheatus catalog that is in this key, which I believe is A flat.
What is it?
It's an A flat.
Is it B flat?
Oh, wow.
Or is it B flat? It's either A flat or B flat. I can't remember which one, but it's we've never done a song in that key before.
Wow.
Well,
It's B flat. I'm remembering now. It's B flat.
Lemonade is in the key of B flat, isn't it?
It is not in the key of B flat. Why did I even mention it? All right. Anyway, yes. Thank you, Gerben.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Where'd Sarah go?
She's gone. Sarah's out of here. Oh, there she is. She's just off. All right. Okay. Let's move on. Number 5. We have a question. We have a question in the chat from someone named Thomas Milligan. That's weird.
Okay,
Crazy coincidence.
source number 5 is Los Calientes.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's not much information about this.
Sounds ominous.
Yeah. Oh, it has apricot in it.
Hmm.
I like apricot.
Hannah's asking for a status update, Joey. How are you feeling at this stage of the game?
Oh, I feel fine.
Approaching the
yeah.
halfway point here.
Yes.
You've done very well so far.
Actually, a little bit thirsty, but I don't want to start on my oat milk until necessary. So
Smart move.
just going to keep eating these nuggets. So source
Right, there
number
you go.
5.
All right, so it's number 5. So this question is from Thomas Milligan, and he wants to know, what is your favorite and least favorite part of living in America?
I was gonna ask that. Good question.
Brandy, now you got to think of another question.
Kind of like barbecue sauce.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
there you go. It's like a smokier one. Oh, it does look like a dark red, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like barbecue-y, ketchup-y. I like that. It's a little bit hot, but not too bad.
There you go.
So the question was favorite and least favorite things about living here.
Yes.
Well, I guess it would be, I have different perspectives if I'm talking living in America versus living in New York, because they are very different. They have very different meanings. And my favorite thing about living in America is probably just how easy it is to get to so many different places and different climates and landscapes, and like, I don't know, it's just crazy because the UK is so small and I had no perspective on that until I traveled in a different country. And it's crazy to me that we can live here in this city that has so much and so many different things and is like a city, but then I can get on a subway and go to a beach, or we can drive an hour north and be in forests where bears live, and then drive a bit further and you're in proper mountains where you can just like keep driving and then you get to like just cornfields as far as you can see, and then you drive through that and you get to a desert. It's just so weird. And I love that because I love just being able to have access to so many cool things to see. And that's not really, not that the UK obviously has beaches and mountains and all of that, but here it's just so huge and the expanse of it is so apparent when you go out adventuring through it. So it's a country full of big adventures and I love that. My least favorite thing is probably that I can't really go somewhere and ask for a glass of water without assistance because people don't understand what I'm saying.
Butter.
I would love to be able to, just say the word butter and have people know what I'm talking about.
The word water is particularly
Water.
funny. In the other times, if we were like out at a bar and it was like, oh, and a glass of water with the like, They have no idea. It's so funny too, because in New York, obviously, there's people from all over the world, and you get loads and loads of accents all the time. And you'd think that they'd be prepared, but they're not.
That's funny. Everyone here watches Downton Abbey, and everyone watches The Great British Bake Off. And yet, when I say water, they're like,
I'm picturing you in a loud bar, and the bartender's like, "Yeah, what can I get you?" And you're like, "Ah, shit."
I know. Usually, if I need water, I will have Matthew order.
Yeah, I usually get asked to do it. Yeah, I've seen you go into Starbucks and ask for a soy chai latte, and they look at you like you are from another dimension.
Yeah. Those words don't really sound different.
No, they don't
in
sound
my
that
accent.
different.
I'm like, soy chai, and they're like, "What? What are you saying?" Like, soy chai.
You gotta watch more BBC. I mean,
Yeah.
Some of the shows that you mentioned, Joey, are sort of they started as English television, but they've since become aware of the fact that they have American audiences. Coronation Street doesn't have an American audience, So if you watch some real actual British TV, then you might begin to know that the language didn't come from here.
Yeah.
Hi, Cosmo. Hi.
Should I have we told the butter story? Because you may have noticed that whenever we talk about accents and all of that stuff, we often say the word butter to each other, and Brendan and Sturbins in particular love saying butter.
If you feel like telling the story, Joey, I think you should. Because I don't think we have.
Okay, well, we were in Brooklyn, and I was actually there with Sturbins because we were doing a rehearsal at a studio that I don't really know why we were rehearsing there, but we were rehearsing there. And I went to a coffee shop, just to pick up some coffees for everyone. And Sturbs was like, "Oh, can you get me a bagel with butter?" And just for what it's worth, even when I ate dairy, I don't like butter, so I would never order a bagel with butter. So it was all thanks to Sturbins that this exchange happened. And I went into the coffee shop. I was like, "Oh, and can I also have a bagel with butter?" And the cashier was like, "A bagel with what?" I said, "Butter." And again, he's like, "What?" I was like, "Butter." And he looked at me 100% seriously and said, "I'm so sorry, I don't know what that is." And it was just like my whole reality just came crashing down around me, and my heart sank, and I was like, I don't know how to get out of this. And I spelled it for him. It was like butter, Butter. I'm English. And he was like, "Oh," and then he understood what I was saying.
It reminds me of, really quick, because we go down a whole road with this, but Carly has similar issues, and I've seen her many times. Carly will drop her accent to try to get the word across. I've seen Carly go into Starbucks and order a drink, like, "What's the name?" And she's like, Carly, and they're like, "What?" And then finally she's like, Carly. I've also seen her just say her name in her accent and then get a cup that spells her name Collie, like a dog. It's so funny. But it's fine. And then Amanda actually just asked in the chat, but Joey, generally speaking, I don't think I've ever heard you put on an American accent to get your message across.
No, I won't do it.
Capitulate.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Jones.
No need
Harley
to change.
does an American accent that is amazing, and that it makes me feel like she is like one of the cool girls in high school, and I'm like not cool enough.
Carly does a very good American accent.
He does.
It's very California. I feel like that's actually one of the most common. I think if people who don't have an American accent try to put one on, you often get a very California, West Coast kind of thing. Which again is like very cool. Like, you're like, we're just gonna go surfing. Like that kind of a vibe. Anyway,
you started talking. I've been holding off on coffee, and then you started talking about a coffee shop, and so I caved. So
there you go.
Yeah.
You can make coffee. You can multitask. We're going to bring in Glenn for the next question.
Okay.
Glenn, who is our resident Hot Ones expert, actually. So I'm going to assume that Glenn is really, really prepared. And in fact...
We're on to plate number 2, by the way.
Plate number 2.
So what's the sauce?
The sauce is... Tears of the Sun, Private Reserve, Caribbean-style ghost pepper sauce.
Oh, wow.
Great name.
Yeah.
Glenn, I know you wanted to screen share. Are you able to do that right now or no? Am I missing something?
All right.
Okay, great.
All right.
Honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about Glenn being here, and now the fact that he's doing screen sharing, because Glenn just started following me on Instagram, and I don't know what's coming.
So, Joey Slater Milligan, we have a recurring segment on our show. It's called Explain That Gram, where we do a deep dive into our guest's Instagram and pull interesting pictures that need more context. So I'll show you the picture and you provide the context, all right?
Okay.
Let's do it.
So let's see. I guess I just got to share my whole screen, which is why I put a placeholder image up first.
There you go.
No, we don't want that. We want. Okay.
All right.
So this is my placeholder because I thought it was a good picture. But the first one I have a question about is.
Yes.
I took that.
Can you see
Brandy took that photo. There you go. Very good.
Brandy took that.
Yeah.
My first question is, do you still play the violin?
Well, I still have a violin. that is different to playing it. I play it occasionally. I actually played it probably most recently on Quarantine Age Dirtbag.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
So yes and no. I have been meaning for a very long time to kind of get back into it. As you can see, I'm probably 7 in this picture. I maybe a bit older actually, but I started playing the violin when I was 7. And I absolutely loved it, as you can see by my violin playing outfit that I have on there. That I think was for some kind of concert because we had to wear black and white. So I think that's what that was for.
I was gonna say, Joey, we have to do a tour where we all wear vests.
I know. I would wear that vest.
I'm on board for that.
I'm game for that. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I would probably still wear that outfit today. I think that's, as childhood outfits go, that one's quite spiffy. So yeah, I played the violin for my entire high school life. I did all the grades. I don't know if there's any music school music students out there. You go through grades 1 through to 8, and I did all of those. But considering all that, I'm the worst well-trained violin player. Like, all the groundwork is there. I should be quite a good violin player. I'm very bad. So that's
you're not very bad. I've seen you play. You're not very bad.
No, considering my level of training, I am very bad. That's what I mean.
Did you ever go larger than the violin, the viola or the cello or anything like that?
No, I have played a cello briefly, but never really learned it.
My daughter's a cellist. That's why.
Yeah, I do love the cello, though. I think it's a wonderful instrument. I think I just didn't have a cello because I wanted something smaller.
Yeah.
That's
okay. Next question. What some people may or may not know about you is that you are also an author. But my question specifically is, have you ever made or considered making an audiobook version of Psy?
Of Psy? No, I have not considered that.
The reason I ask is because, throwback to the last question, I absolutely love audiobooks read with an English accent. And I think it would be an excellent addition to have you reading the book.
That's a really good idea.
So I could have suggested it a year ago when everybody was in quarantine and couldn't do anything, and you could have just done it in your house. But
yeah, honestly, that has never even crossed my mind to do an audiobook of it.
Jones, we can do that. We got the facility here. We can set up a mic and just.
Oh, I'm sure you're much too busy to do that, Brendan.
No, I mean, we could just that could go on in the background,
Yeah. That's a really good idea, Glenn. I love that idea.
Yeah. I too, Glenn, have like a thing for British audio books.
Yeah. I mean, the Harry Potter series read by Jim Dale is riveting to listen to. It's absolutely incredible.
Well, I can see if he's available to read Psy.
Speaking of audiobooks, actually, Joey, I think that you're very suited to that voice and otherwise. But as audiobooks go, it's weird that we're talking about this because Sturbins and I just in the past 3 weeks have gotten for the first time serious audiobookers become them sort of. And the one that I am currently in the middle of is Bill Bryson reading his own book about the UK. I think it's called A Little Island or something.
Notes from a Small Island.
Notes from a Small Island, yeah. And his description of going into a pub randomly in Glasgow somewhere on the outskirts of Glasgow is priceless. I was giggling at 2:00 in the morning listening to it last night, trying not to wake Sturbins up. But so funny.
There you go. Audiobooks. All right. Yeah, I love it.
All right. Next, how is the hot sauces you had today compared to these two fantastic options that you've had in your fridge in the past?
I don't specifically remember the Obama sauce. I remember we really enjoyed it.
I don't remember what it tasted like. Yeah.
No, but I do remember the Bernie sauce we went back to multiple times. We loved the Bernie sauce. That's also the same company that has a really amazing truffle hot sauce.
Ooh.
They're based out of Brooklyn. Tango hot sauces are really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Tango did go into our kind of hot sauce hall of fame. Right now I'm really enjoying, I think so far my favorites of this batch. Actually, the one I just had is really good. I think it's between these two are my current favorites of the batch. The
follow-up loaded question. What do you think a Trump or Biden hot sauce would taste like?
A Trump hot sauces probably taste like ketchup.
I think a Biden hot sauce would be kind of bland, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't get the sense that either of them are going for really intense flavors.
No. A Biden hot sauce would just be sour cream.
Yeah, or English brown sauce or something,
Yeah.
Oh, but don't knock the brown sauce.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it ain't hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will knock the brown sauce. I don't understand brown sauce.
I brought packets of it home from Northern Ireland when we went, and they live in my camping bag so that I can put them on egg sandwiches when I'm camping.
It's so weird to me. I just don't get it.
To each their own, Matthew.
Yeah.
Okay. You do like your coffee. I think maybe it's because it was part of your job. But I also know that you're a tea fan. Which do you prefer, and what is your preferred method to prepare it?
Glenn, this is a huge question.
I just had a lesson on this from Joey last week.
Yes, it's important that everyone knows how to make tea. I would not be able to choose. Okay, well, no, let me rephrase that. I don't want to choose a favorite between tea and coffee. I love them both. And I think there is a time and place for both of them. As you can see, I have worked as a barista, so a lot of the ones that you can see in, especially in like the bottom row there, and that weird smiley face. Some of those are things that I made, and some of them are things.
The candle on the top row, I think that was awesome.
Yeah, so it's like kind of a mixture there. But my favorite way to prepare coffee is probably, as you can see in this picture, as a flat white. A small amount of steamed oat milk would be my preference, with a good, well dialed in espresso. But honestly, I like all coffee. And tea, I like all tea. I probably prefer black teas over herbal and green tea, but I also do like herbal and green tea. And the top way to prepare a black tea would be to take fresh water, boil it in a kettle, and pour it over the tea bag. Once it has come to a stop from a rolling boil, you don't want the water to be still boiling. You want it off a rolling boil. Then I like to steep my black tea for about 5 minutes. And then I think Brendan, because he just learned this, would you like to tell everyone how you take the tea bag out of the cup?
Yeah, so I was always a squeezer. I always thought that you had to wring it out, get all of the flavor. But Joey told me that there's a tannins issue. If you push too hard and squeeze too much, you wind up with undesirable aspects that could lead to, heaven forbid, a bitter tea. So what she told me was, with the spoon or the fork, whatever you're using, gently hug the bag to the side of the cup and take it out that way. So the hug gives a little bit of a filtering squeeze, but not one that gives you something undesirable. And also never, never, never pour freshly boiling water over a tea bag. You have to let it stop roiling there. So, yeah.
Fascinating. I didn't know that. Whoops.
It's funny, my grandparents were both tea drinkers after dinner every day. And my grandmother let her tea bag, Lipton always, steep for about 30 seconds. And my grandfather basically waved the tea bag over the top of the cup and then threw it away. Like the 5 minutes thing, they would have never drank that tea.
I until I joined Wheatus, I let it steep and then kept it in there
while you drank
until it was done, and then sucked the tea back.
Oh God!
Talk about the bitter parts. Wow.
I thought that's like the nutrients. Like I wanted to get all the nutrients.
Andy, good Lord, how could you possibly actually say suck the tea bag in a natural way in this conversation? That you are beyond belief.
See, Lee is in the chat with a little bit of a pushback on this whole thing. He says that the tea bag stays in until the tea is drunk, right? So yeah, I've done that, and I have to say that is really enjoyable. I've done that with builders and gone from not being ready for a show to being quite ready for a show in the course of whatever it takes to drink the tea down. So
I will do that if I'm drinking a herbal tea, because with herbal teas, I feel like the longer you steep, the more of the flavor you get. But for me, with a black tea, I like to get to the perfect steeping concentration, and then I want to enjoy that same concentration while I drink the tea. I don't want the tea to liquid ratio to keep changing. However, I think it is acceptable to keep doing that. I think that would be more acceptable than like dunking the tea bag for a second and then taking it out. That's not tea making.
No, we can all agree on that.
Yeah. So my grandparents didn't actually drink tea.
No.
I knew that this would be the longest answer of all these pictures.
Yes.
I knew it was going to. All right, next. Where can I find a field of ice cream? And where can I find ice cream that I look at like that?
Well, you can find the non-dairy Ben and Jerry's at all your local Ben and Jerry's retailers. I will tell you that I have.
So funny you say this.
I haven't needed it yet, and I should probably have kept it on ice because we've been talking for a long time. But I do have right beside me this in case I need it. And this new flavor just came out.
Yes, Ben and Jerry's have finally done a non-dairy version of the fish food.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm adding that to my cart right now.
Wow.
Yes, so I'm very excited. But I do feel like maybe I need ice packs for this. So maybe I should go and get some ice packs.
Do you want me to come get it from you and put it in the freezer for a moment?
Well, because I might need it though.
Well, I can bring it back to you if you need it.
Yeah, you guys aren't very far away from each other.
No, we're pretty close.
Yeah, maybe can you come and...
Yeah, let me come grab it quick.
I don't want it to be ruined.
You guys are going to watch... the illusion of us being in separate places is about to get destroyed, but you'll see how.
But until Matthew comes to collect it.
I'm noticing that Joey's having a long break in between hot stuffs.
Ah.
You're welcome. But true question, what the hell is the deal with this field of ice cream?
What's new, did you say?
No, what's this field here? This field of ice cream on the right-hand side.
Oh,
I didn't even see that because that's where the...
You should have to eat a spicy thing when you answer this one.
Okay, hold on, I'll eat the rest of this one. What sauce are we on? We're on number 5.
Yeah.
You could even move on to number 6 if you want, Joey. I'm not sure how many questions we have versus sauces left.
We're on 6. So you know what?
There you go. Dive in.
Because people think that I'm taking too long to eat the hot sauces. There we go.
Wait, Memphis doesn't have the non-dairy fish food yet. Dang it!
Oh, I'm sorry, Brandy. I honestly don't know what that thing is.
Okay.
That was just, I was in London in a rose garden, which might be the most British thing I've ever said. But I saw these rose bushes and a sign that said ice cream. And naturally, I needed to take a photo of that.
So maybe there's an ice cream a breed of roses or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
I guess I'll... Okay, I'll blast on. What's it like with the camaraderie of the 4 Wheatus ladies?
Yes.
That's what this picture was. This was ladies' bathroom shot.
Yeah.
I love this picture.
Yeah, that's a really cool frame as well. They really set us up well for that. That was in London at the Shepherd's Bush Empire, maybe? Does anyone remember what venue that was?
I think, yes,
Shepherd's Bush.
That was Shepherd's Bush, yeah, which was probably the fanciest venue we've ever played.
Wow, I don't remember.
I
have no memory of the backstage at that place.
Well, so this was in the ladies' bathroom.
So I guess I wouldn't remember that.
You wouldn't remember that. I don't know what the men's was like. Probably wasn't as nice as this one.
Probably not. Rarely is.
But the ladies' camaraderie is excellent. We get on wonderfully. We love each other. We hang out when we can. And yeah, I'm lucky to be in a band with such wonderful ladies.
I absolutely loved the ladies' album that you guys put together. It was fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that was lovely for us to put together as well.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of good hair going on in that shot.
There is.
Everyone's got perfect hair in that shot.
Yeah, I think we were making an effort because it was like a fancy venue.
Okay, last serious question. Please tell me this Matthew doll still exists.
That's a good one.
It does. And it is at our grim all day rehearsal studio at our friend Phil's house. This was from when Matthew and Brendan and Sturbins were on the acoustic tour opening for Mike in the US. And Buddy and I stayed home, and here we are in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. and Matthew's birthday was happening on during the tour. So I had a birthday party for myself and some of our friends, and we called in Matthew, and there he is on the screen.
It was a surprise party for me that I couldn't attend. That I had to I had to FaceTime into this party that was happening in my home, but I was we were in California at that point.
And then watch everybody eat that amazing looking cake.
Yeah.
Oh, we were in San Fran?
So on that tour, my birthday was when we were in Santa Cruz, but I actually feel like this happened maybe the day after when we were in San Francisco.
Because we got you a really good cake in San Francisco too that had rose water and pistachio, and
it was delicious.
Like a Middle Eastern delicious.
Yes,
cake.
I remember that very, very well as well.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. That's a fun memory for me. That's I mean, you can see me in the phone there looking like I was having a great time.
Your phone face is happier than your doll face.
And my doll face, yeah.
Can I call you doll face, Matthew?
Everyone start calling me doll face.
Matthew, aka doll face.
That's awesome.
Okay, and lastly, before I close, do you remember what the first picture you ever put up on Instagram was?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know it was something from a Wheatus tour, because we were on tour and maybe I was forwarding them to the Facebook. I don't remember why it was I just did a personal Instagram and not a band Instagram. Maybe it was kind of before bands were using Instagram that way. But I know it was something Wheatus related.
Yeah, the caption said, thanks, venue. Nothing like a wall full of bearded ladies to get us ready for the show.
That's right. Those were pictures on the wall backstage.
Yeah.
I remember that very well.
Where the hell was that? That's
the real question here, is where the hell was that?
Well, we could work it out. It was the tour with, if someone can Google this, it was the tour with Cornmo and Matha Band. And I guess that was
MC Lars.
And MC
I think
Lars.
it might have actually been like Huddersfield. It was in the UK.
Yeah.
For some reason, Huddersfield came to my head.
There was a tour that started in Huddersfield. Maybe it was that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it was Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I took so long.
No, that was great. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Glenn.
You're welcome.
And Glenn, I'm going to have you, if you can stay until the end, I'm going to have you come back at the end to help us roll out the red carpet, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
All right.
So next up is number... Oh, is this the frightening one? Is this number 7?
Number 7 is... Oh, is that the honey mustard one? The torchbearer?
Oh, did everybody say, the butter and American versus British butter?
Oh, yes. There was a request for people to hear.
I just saw that.
Well, Gerben asked. We would say butter, almost as if it was Budder. The double T comes across as butter. That's how I would say it. So if you went to a deli in New York and you're like, yeah, give me a bagel with butter, as opposed to butter.
But if you were in Boston, it'd be butter.
Butter in Boston.
Butter.
Bagel with butter.
So I think the 7 has rubbed off of this one.
It did, but that's number 7 for sure.
This is number 7. This is torchbearer sauces, honey mustard, honey badger.
Honey badger. Ah.
Oh, it also says killer on the bottom.
Killer.
So good luck to me, I suppose.
Yeah. R.I.P. Joey.
Okay. I'm ready.
Wait. Do we have a Brandy, do you have a question? Actually, don't. I have one ready to go, but think about it if you do.
Oh, I
Okay, we'll do this because Sarah had one and she didn't get to ask when we had Gerben on. So Sarah's was just a quick. Joey, what's your favorite TV show and why?
Ooh.
Good.
That's a good sauce.
I knew you'd like that one. I was talking about that one, and I was like,
that one is a bit spicy. My favorite, I don't know if I have one favorite TV show, but I have favorites. Friends and The Office, of course. Stargate SG-1, of course. I love, very fond of Sex and the City. Parks and Recreation, Arrested Development.
R.I.P. Jessica Walter, who died just a couple days ago. She's
So
a real deal. One of the funniest people I have ever seen in anything.
This one is spicy. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Okay.
Are there any more bagels?
There's one.
Yeah, I don't think I have one favorite in particular. If I had to pick one, it might have to be The Office, just because it has so much rewatch value.
Are we talking The American Office?
Yes.
Shocking.
No, it's not.
All right, let's that was good. We're gonna pick up the pace slightly because like we've been going a really long time and you have so many more sauces to do.
I have 3 more.
You have 3 more.
There's 3 more, but the next one.
Lightning round.
Now that it's getting hotter, we're gonna go faster.
Okay, Lee is up next. I'm bringing in Lee.
It's this one.
It's the bomb.
No.
Oh, it's the good one.
Lee has come here to test me on my GCSEs.
Well, to be fair, I did think about it, but then I decided to go with a music question this week instead.
Okay.
I did because Lee asked and I did give him a warning. I'm like, Joey might refuse to do maths for you. Just a heads up. I was like, you can definitely try, but I don't know. I can't promise.
Matthew, can you bring the ice cream back?
Just
Just in case, because
Just in case.
I think I'm gonna need it, because the next sauce is the one that made Matthew very upset.
Yeah, here I come.
I'll wait till you've had the thing, and then
Yeah, you can
we'll
ask
see
anytime.
how you deal with the thing before I ask the question.
Okay.
How are we all, by the way? Anyway,
We're doing good. How's that Explorer, man? Yeah.
I'd spent most of the afternoon playing Eric Clapton, so
Love that thing.
it's honestly, I mean, last week
Ooh.
or last time we did Hot Ones, I absolutely devastated myself because I was sat playing here in front of my desk, and I turned around to look at something, and managed to knock a massive chunk. You can see it.
That ain't massive. You're fine with that. That's
right
camera.
in, where is it? There it is.
Yeah.
Just leaned forward and clocked into the desk, and I just sort of spent 5 minutes looking at it, going, "Oh bloody hell!"
No. That's character. It sounds better. Anyone who loves guitars long enough, Lee, will tell you, and I'm sure you'll understand this.
Yeah,
It ain't good till it's broken and repaired.
that's true. Well,
That's when it really sounds good.
At one point, I had this detuned to drop C, but had like 56 gauge strings on it. And when I took them off, this top corner of the nut just disappeared.
Yeah.
So that had to be repaired by somebody. So, but
It is sort of like it's like when you get a car, or like if you get a car and it's always like, oh God, I can't get a single scratch on this car, but it's going to happen at some point in time, and you just might as well accept the fact that you're using a thing. Like it's going to happen. So
yeah.
My most recent the primary Brian Neville guitar, I was set up doing cameos with it. Studio's pretty tight. There's a lot of sharp edges. I leaned it against the wall, forgot that it was there, walked right into it, hit the top right on a sharp corner of one of my mixers. And I looked at it, and all it did was like peel off some of the finish, like in a flat, like just a knife took it off.
Yeah.
And I thought, there we go. Now we're cooking.
Absolutely heartbreaking, isn't it?
Nah.
Wow. I got a new when I got my new what do you call it? Lorry. When I got my new lorry, I wasn't used to it being wider than usual. So when I was taking the garbage out, I was like walking down the driveway and just dragged a straight line across the right side of it.
Wow.
And then also left the door open when I got back from tour because I wasn't used to something. I don't know. And then it stormed all in the car.
Yeah, we heard that story.
We did.
So what's up, Lee? What do you got?
Well, I'm waiting to see how Joey reacts to nugget number 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I decided to go with the music question this week, and after last week's or week before's HEATUS, as I found out from Matthew, both him and you, Gabby, were mathletes at school. So my music question is, Billy wants to buy these tickets for a show. 4 adult tickets at £15 each and 2 child's tickets at £10 each. A 10% booking fee is added to the ticket price, and then 3% is added for paying by credit card. What's the total charge when paying by credit card?
You say it again?
Billy wants to buy these tickets for a show. 4 adult tickets at £15 each and 2 child's tickets at £10 each. A 10% booking fee.
Slow down.
Sorry.
Lee, this is unsatisfactory.
Don't worry. If you want to, on the next tour, if you see my name down on a guest list anywhere, feel free to scribble it out.
I will.
Do not admit written next to it.
What was the second surcharge?
It's 10% booking fee is added to the price of the ticket, and then 3% for paying by credit card. What's the total charge for all the tickets when paying by credit card?
Okay.
Is it 3% of the whole thing, or is it 3% of the 10 of the tickets? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is the 3% on the
I think it's 3% for the total bill.
Wait, what?
3% on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the total bill, yeah.
Is
Four
it
tickets at 50
£90 64 pennies?
Oh, she wants to.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see whether you've got both the same answer before I say
Yeah.
it.
Okay, hold on a second. Wait, did you say 90/64?
I did.
Yeah, I got the same thing. If the 3%,
It is indeed.
If the 3% is not that total.
Yep.
Yes. It is £90.64. Congratulations, you both passed
Joey,
your GCSE
very
maths
good.
Nice one. Nice one.
Nice one.
Groatsworth.
What do you
Wow, Lee, well done, Lee. That was a real that was.
See, it went in one direction, then it was just like a swerve to the other.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Joe? You
I'm actually all right.
You're doing all right?
All right. I'm waiting for it to come back. My hands are suddenly very cold. I don't know if this is a side effect.
Well, blood is rushing to different areas. Like
yeah, it's all in my head right now. Maybe that's why I was able to do the maths, because all the blood is rushing to my brain to work out what this.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah.
Problem.
No, I think I'm okay.
There you go. Fantastic. Awesome.
Well done.
Thank you, Lee. That was a
You're
great.
welcome.
That was a Trojan horse you laid beautifully there.
Pleasure as always.
Always. All right, we're approaching the end. I think Brandy. Why don't we get a question from Brandy in? I think now is a good time for that.
Okay. Well, then the accompanying source is the Eye of the Scorpion. It sounds hot, doesn't it?
It does.
The Eye of the Scorpion.
The Eye of the Scorpion stings your tongue and blurs your vision with its 1-2 punch of scorpion pepper and scorpion powder. This doesn't have actual scorpions.
No, there's no actual scorpions in it. It's scorpion
Okay.
pepper. It's pepper powder.
Okay.
Freeze-dried scorpion ground into a fresh powder.
Just for you, Joey, we got the sauce made of scorpions. Actual scorpions.
Okay.
Brandy, go ahead.
I was going to. I love when things annoy you, and I was just curious if there are any things after living in England and the U.S. that you find universally annoying, or if you have any things that are specific to England that maybe it might be a pet peeve, and things specific to America that might be a pet peeve.
That's a hot one. Pet peeves. That's a good question. I don't know. I really don't know, Brandy. Probably. Is anything coming to mind, something that I've said that has prompted you to ask that question?
Just American culture that annoys you, or British culture that annoys you?
Probably.
It's all going to come flooding at 1 a.m.
I know. I'll be texting you like, oh, and another thing that annoys me. It's not...
Just to chime in quickly, Manda has said in the YouTube chat that her suggestion was people literally doing anything.
See, that makes it sound like I'm constantly annoyed. I feel like maybe that's Manda saying the thing that annoys her, because that's like kind of a running joke, is that...
Oh, perhaps that's what she was saying, and it was not reflecting you in the same way.
I don't know. I know Kyra and Manda are in the chat. Maybe if they can remember something. I do have a weird thing. American toilet cubicle doors have a gap in the side that is beyond my comprehension. I know that you guys can make a door that fits in the frame, because I'm looking at one. Every house has a door that goes all the way up to the edge of the frame. For some reason, toilet cubicles don't do that. That is very, very strange.
I think UK toilet etiquette is far better than American. We discard and destroy our bathrooms here, public, private, otherwise. It's terrible. And I think for that reason, business owners are reluctant to spend a ton of money on getting the doors to fit properly in their cubicles in their bathroom. But the UK is far more respectful of the loo over there, you know.
Yeah, respect the loo, people.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe I don't know if I would consider it a peeve, but maybe just more of an observation after being here for so long. I feel that American people are very friendly and love to just chat. And it's not really in my nature to do that. So sometimes when people are like that with me, my instinct is to think, what is wrong with you? Why are you talking to me? You don't know me. We don't need to have a conversation. However, also having worked now quite a while in customer service here, there is something really pleasant about working in a coffee shop and just chatting with the customers, because they usually start the conversation, unless it's an English person, in which case both of us are very happy to not say any unnecessary words to each other. But then I've noticed when I go back to the UK, everyone seems a lot grumpier. And it's not really so much a peeve, but it is kind of a thing where I think British people love to be a bit grumpy and love to be a bit annoyed with each other, but in a very kind of quiet, introspective way. Like British people will be annoyed at something and just hold on to it and just be like, oh, I hate that woman. Oh, she really gets on my nerves. And the difference is an American person would be like, hey, I have a problem with you, and we're going to hash it out right now. And they'll yell at each other. but then just move on. And British people will they'll let the angst just bubble away under the surface for a lifetime.
Yeah.
They'll ignore it until it becomes Shakespeare. I love the prickly British thing. I love that. It's one of my favorite things about English people.
Yes, I like the fact, as you were describing that, Joey Bronwyn chimed in the chat and said, you're actually selling her on the UK. She thinks she would do well with that.
Yeah. And it's my favorite thing about that, if I could elaborate a little bit, is all sorts of etiquette is way more standardized and visible in the UK. Like when you line up on a queue, right? Nobody cuts. The way that things are sort of managed in a grocery store or whatever else, it's far more, what's going to happen. In the States, people are like, what are you talking about? I was online. It's all this sort of blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
all the time. And the UK is just settle down,
But that's what I mean. So here, if you were lined up at the supermarket and then someone cut in the front of the queue, someone would say something. But if that happened in England, no one would say anything. And everyone would just be filled with this quiet seething. And everyone would just be going,
yeah. Yeah.
Or they'd turn and look at each other and be like, can you believe the cheek of this?
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
My favorite is the British harumph. Oh.
Yeah, just quiet tutting. Just
yeah, a huff, a real British bulldog huff.
Yeah.
Damien turned me on to the super verbose, polite signage in England.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of no parking anytime, like in the Liverpool bus yard, it was positively no vehicles are allowed to park here at any moment in the day or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Joey, are you ready for your final? Final. So this is the last dab, and of course the tradition here is that for the last sauce, we have the last dab Apollo sauce right now. And the tradition is that you're going to add one final little dollop of that sauce to your final nugget.
Okay. Oh, I should shake it first.
Yeah, that's a somewhat thick.
She's shaking.
Honestly, I am frightened by this.
And I think we're going to wrap it up with a question that we had another question from Hannah a little while ago that I really like. So I think we're going to end with that one.
Oh, wait, how much do I dabbed too much?
No, I think you'll be okay.
Is that that seems like a lot though.
That's too much.
Yeah, just dab some off.
Dab on, dab off.
You need to be consistent about it. You can't suddenly
Well, this is the whole point of the last dab is that this is the final countdown. All right, go ahead, Joey. And then the question is there a place in the United Kingdom that you have never been but you would still like to visit? A landmark attraction or even just a general part of the I was going to say country, but even more than that if it's part of all of the UK. The kingdom.
I'll be right with you. I would really like to go to the Scottish Highlands. I've never been all the way up there. I would love to visit, is it the Orkney Islands? They have a lot of archaeological sites there. I think would be really cool to visit.
The Orkney Islands, there's a beer called Skull Splitter, which is like an original Viking stout. And it comes in tiny little glass bottles that are only 5 inches tall. because it's got the alcohol content is like 17% or some crazy nonsense.
Wow.
Yeah. They used to have Skull Splitter at a bar in Huntington, Long Island, if you could believe that. A bar called Canterbury Ales.
Oh.
Wow.
One of the few places in America that actually carried Skull Splitter, which is like,
Canterbury Ales.
Yeah.
Cute.
So yeah, that comes to mind. I don't know. I've been very fortunate to have visited a lot of places in the UK. So I think I've crossed a lot of places off of my list. Yeah, I don't know.
Just for my own geography, are the Highlands north of Inverness? Because that's the furthest north I think I've ever gone.
Well, I don't really know. Inverness is on the coast, right? So
I guess I'm not sure.
I'm looking at a Google map.
There you go.
Yes, Inverness would be the location where Tilda Swinton came, and I missed it because I took a nap exactly during the time window she was backstage.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to our good friend Tilda Swinton. She's in the chat. Are you doing okay, Joey?
Yeah, I'm just looking at a map.
Any thoughts on the last dab?
Well, it's hot. However, I am feeling okay.
Joe, I have to just point out, unless I missed it in a moment where I was away, you went through the whole thing and you didn't have any milk. You didn't have any of your ice cream. I don't think you even took a sip of water.
I don't have water here. I just have my sippy cup with oat milk in it, and I haven't had any yet.
So you have done better at this than I did.
You know what? The last dab, I feel like I could add more to it.
Yeah.
I think you didn't finish that nugget, so if you feel like having a little more, go on then.
I was going to say, yet again, proving that females' tolerance for pain is higher than males.
There you go.
Right.
Look at this. Look at this display.
Okay.
Come on. What is even?
This is just.
The,
vulgar.
This is vulgar. That's the word.
oh no. Oh.
Wow.
I might regret that already.
Downright brash.
What was one of the? Oh, never mind.
Let's bang out a line, mate.
The Orkney Islands are north of Inverness.
Got it. Okay.
What is one of the coolest things you were able to see in the UK? Wait, is there a Hogwarts in the UK that you haven't?
I mean, the real Hogwarts was in Scotland, right? I think.
But I mean, is there like a Hogwarts castle that you can visit or something? Is that in America or is that?
There's the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is in Orlando.
Oh, never mind.
Florida. I think there might be a UK. I think there was a thing in London for a little while, although I don't remember.
What's the coolest thing that being on tour with Wheatus was able to let you see in the UK that just off the top of your head? Not the coolest, but something cool.
Something cool.
Stonehenge, Shakespeare.
Stonehenge was good.
Uh-oh.
You know, this is really sad, but as a kid, I always wanted to go to Blackpool. And I think we went to Blackpool on the acoustic tour.
We did.
Turns out Blackpool is a bit rubbish.
Yes, and what wasn't somebody at the venue, I think this is the rarest of things, but I'm fairly certain that the people who ran the venue went out of their way to be rude to us. I think did that hack? I have a vague recollection of that being like, what? Huh?
I think so. If I'm thinking of the right place, it was like a club kind of show, and they gave you and the vocalists at the time were Joanna and Carly. They gave the three of you access all areas passes, and they gave me a different one that said access most areas.
Yeah, really strange. And it was like a publicly run venue in some capacity. I don't really remember, but it was weird. I remember feeling, and I never feel like this, unwelcome in this weird way, like by the staff. I think it was strange. Anyway,
Yeah.
But they did have a nice grocery store that had strange hours, right? It like closed at like 3:30 in the afternoon or some crazy shit like that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, this is on the acoustic tour. It was a weird show in.
Say, it must have been on that tour because I've definitely never been to Blackpool.
Yeah, that might have been where you croaked if you came on that tour, Matthew. Everybody know that story?
The one Wheatus tour in my time in the band, the one Wheatus tour that I did not do was in 2008 or 9. And because it was an acoustic tour and it was Brendan and the 2 backing vocalists at the time. And so I stayed home. And while I was home and not on that tour, I needed to have an emergency appendectomy. Wow. And immediately the thought was, wow, I wonder what it would have been like if this had happened to me while I was on a tour bus and not at home.
Wow.
We all universally agreed that it would have been far more life-threatening on the tour bus, not because we couldn't get health care and get him sorted out, because that is actually probably better in the UK. However, Matthew is not the type to succumb to illness on tour. In fact,
I would have ignored it. He would
have ignored it and died in a bunk.
Oof.
Such a vibe.
Yeah, vibes.
And also maybe like I would have been curious what Brendan your remedies were. But I remember that was when somebody got sick and you were like giving fun remedies or something.
For appendicitis?
Yeah. When Will had food poisoning and you tried to give him olives and Marmite on toast.
Poor Will. He was feeling so bad, and you were like, oh, this will make you feel better. And it was olives and Marmite. He was like, this tastes horrible. Are you sure this is going to help?
Because you're replacing your salts and your vitamin D and all that.
Oh, you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Did you finally succumb, Joey, or did everything just...
Cables.
Oh, cables.
Cables.
There you go. Well,
good job, Jones.
Joey, you did it. I'm gonna bring in Glenn for a moment because Glenn again is our really the host of this, not me. Look.
So you made it to the top of Mount Scoville. You bested the hot sauces. It's time to roll out the red carpet. We got this camera. We got this camera. We probably just got the camera right in front of you. Tell the people what's going on with you.
I don't know. I'm about to crack open this ice cream. This fish food. That's next on my list.
Jealous?
Maybe I'm gonna do some music soon. I don't know. Follow me on Instagram, I suppose, if you want to see pictures of food that I make. I'm not working on any big projects right now, so I don't know. I'm on a refreshed journey through the Stargate franchise.
I saw that.
That's really what I'm all about right now.
The plug-in for Stargate.
And you're working on an audiobook for your novel.
You heard it here first.
Did you ever write a sequel to that?
No.
No. I saw discussion in the Instagram.
Yeah, I have started writing a sequel multiple times and have fallen off because it turns out sequels are really boring to write. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe I'll get to it eventually. I have something that is like sort of written, but not really. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you did a bang up job with this. I can't believe you went back for more the last dab.
Honestly, that's like next level stuff.
Right
Joey.
now that you do regret it. You do regret it.
I'm feeling it. Yeah, that was definitely hot. Although I'm going to say those really spicy noodles that we have talked about before, I think, at least for my taste, still hotter than anything that I just ate.
The Samyang double hot ramen noodles.
2x.
Joey, it's interesting. Joey finds those to be like the hottest thing ever. I don't find them as hot as these, but everyone has different palates with this sort of thing.
You're demonstrating the Brit's ability to hold anything unpleasant on the inside.
There you go. Perfect.
Well done.
All right. Well, this has been
you.
fun. Thank you, Joey, for being such a good sport and participating in this. Well done. Thank you, everyone who watched and for giving your questions and stuff. And once again, I will say that we still have these sauces. If anybody else in Wheatus feels like taking this challenge, I'm looking at you, Sturbans.
I'm looking at you shaking your head, Sturbans.
I don't think I get to like 3.
Same.
Well, maybe Brendan one of these days. Maybe we can get you on
Yeah,
board.
I roll hot.
Brendan would roll. I think we can do this. We'll make sure that we save.
The thing with me with hot sauces is like anything that's not habanero has to be really special because I can't stand jalapeno peppers. I hate them, so it's like a weird like flavors vibe with me. I can take some pretty hot stuff, but like, it's flavors.
There you go.
You'd like this one. You'd like this one a lot.
The pineapple habanero. That is a really good sauce.
Pineapple, any kind of mango habanero, pineapple.
That's a delicious one.
I would do like Vegemite, Marmite, like a series of those. I'd do a series of chocolate.
Really quick.
How dark can you go? Yeah.
Really quick. I was gonna, Glenn, before we wrap up, the one on your furthest left, other side. What is that? Keith's burger sauce. I have never seen that one before. That just caught my eye from afar.
So this one actually came in a HEATUS box that I was given for Christmas. It's a hot sauce that is literally designed to put on burgers specifically.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that on the other end? Is that the picker pepper?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
That's a nice
Yeah,
one.
that's a really good one.
You guys, I love this one.
Good. That's a good go-to.
And then what's the one next to that?
This one is See Dick Burn.
Okay,
Excellent.
we have not had that
Not
one.
seen that one either, but that's
No, this one that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I see a Bronx Market one in the middle. The one with the blue on the top.
This one.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a green one that's really good. Oh, that one's called the Oakland.
Yeah.
California raisin. Holy cow.
Yeah, this one's got some raisin in it. That's pretty good too.
Wow.
Sounds like you guys have something to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Well, okay, so we've settled on this. I don't know when we're going to get the chance to do it because we'll have to be together for it. But at some point soon, we'll do another round of hot ones, at least one more round where we'll get Brendan involved. That'll take a little bit more planning, but we can pull that off. And
Yeah, because I don't have this hot sauce is something that I enjoy, but I don't always buy it. We don't always buy it. If I see something interesting on the shelf, I'll grab it. But
well, again, this is like we have a whole run here of specific, like this is the 10. If you're gonna do this, we gotta get you the 10.
I'm ready.
All right, we'll do it.
I looked at the price of that box of 10. You got a really good brother.
Yes, yes, it was not cheap. It was not cheap.
No.
What's the most expensive bottle? Like one bottle?
The last dab. So I got it in a pack, which included like all of it. But the last dab that Joey just like went ham hog on, that like a single bottle of that is I think like $24 or $25. So it's a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah. Most of them are like around like the $8 mark or so. All right. Well, we've gone really long. Thanks everyone for sticking with us here. It's been fun, and more games, more music, more of all of the things very soon.
Magic
but for now,
surprises.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.